Your
Yeah.
face fresh like this.
I don't know. We
All
thank
right.
God. Yeah. My take has always been, use social media responsibly. It can be a force for change and for good. It can equally backfire if you're not using it responsibly. And in this age and era, we all, I included, we need to be extremely careful as to what we put out there. It might be fun. We might think we're having a good time. Like someone once said, the internet would never be defeated. I woke up just like every other Nigerian this morning because I'm still struggling with the time difference, from America, Europe, and every other thing. I woke up around almost 12 midday. My phone was filled with so much tape. So I didn't even, I clicked. My friends in Dubai were calling me. I'm like, what's going on? I opened the video. I'm like, who is this? So I asked, I put question mark, what is this? They said, oh, that is Tiwa. I'm like, whoa. My first reaction was like, oh my God. I know a few weeks back she projected it that someone was trying to blackmail her.
Yeah.
So she went ahead of the story. So, living with such anxiety, it came out. So when I asked, I'm like, why is this out? Somebody said she was bragging somewhere she performed yesterday about whatever. I'm like, oh, wow. And I stated my humble opinion as to, sex is not a crime as an adult. These are two consenting adults having a mutual time together. As a public figure, I think most of us don't know the place we hold in society and the power we wield that can be a force for change and for good. And when I stated my opinion today, I made some comment. We all, as women, we ought to be very, very careful, especially women in public space. For the last, since last month, it's been gut-wrenching watching. A case of a man releasing the voice tape of a woman crying in the most vulnerable state. I couldn't stomach it, even though I am not a fan of that woman. But that was morally wrong and reprehensible and needed to be called out because there are so many victims of that guy. Let me tell you something what people don't know. In 2017, that same guy slipped into my DM. I have a film I want to do, and I looked at him and I just said, oh, I ignored. Some of them specializes in preying on women. They watch you, they learn you. So as a woman in public space, learn your environment and what you do. There are people watching. We are not saints. I'm not saints. I'm a mother of 2 kids. I've been divorced 11 years. I am not saint. I have relationships. But one thing I've come to learn is the quest of instant gratification has made many people lose their moral compass. And for us to begin to restore that, we need to call a spade a spade. Tiwa did not commit an abomination.
She did not even commit a crime.
She did not.
Even a crime. She did. You guys need to understand that she did not commit a crime.
She did not.
She
did not.
Morally wrong by your standards might not be morally wrong by another person's standards.
She did not. For my own take, my take was this. I don't care how much you love a man or a woman. In this time, day, and era, do not leave yourself vulnerable. We live in a situation whereby
honorable.
Even conversation, innocent conversation, you could call your girlfriend, your guy friend to say, hey, this is what I'm going through. It's being recorded. And you begin to question people's moral compass. Why? Why would you record me? So I don't know when today I said, I don't know if she was intoxicated, if she was morally, physically impaired or under the substance of anything. For me, I don't see any responsible person that will put yourself. One, you're in a public space. That was a boat with so many girls, women in the age of internet, whatever. You should be conscious. If you were drinking anything, you're not a child to know that people slip things to make you incapacitated. The more reason. So if you were in your private jet having your private time with your boyfriend, it's within your right as an adult. But in such a setting, my brother, we have to exercise caution. I was discussing with a colleague of mine today. I said, you have a talk show. Maybe this is a topic we all need to address. When you begin to teach our women, our men, it's not only men that blackmail women. I know women who blackmail men.
Absolutely.
If you're entering any man's room today, make sure you switch on that light or switch it off and use your phone to scan if there's camera anywhere. Trust nobody. Don't let down your guard. The pain, I can only imagine what that woman is going through. But the moral of this story should be, to me, to every woman, to every man there, be cautious, especially if you hold a public space and public trust. Anyone can fall a victim. And I tell I'm different. When you are making love, like I said, is the most sacred spiritual act you can. There are two things a woman does. What is sacred? When you're having an intimate encounter and when you're giving birth, those are sacred because they are not beyond, they are beyond your control. You are lost in that moment. Why would you let anybody compromise your dignity? I don't care how much you love me. And like I clearly stated, a man who has so much at stake, job, reputation, career, family, or whatever, would not take a video and record you. Even if you do it there and then in this age of iCloud, oh boy, delete it. Oh girl, keep your phone somewhere. People say, oh, couples. You've been married, you've been through divorce. I've been through divorce. Thank God it was before Instagram. Imagine if some of these people we were entangled with had such weapon. You think we'll be sitting here today? No matter the love, have every fun you want to have. Keep electronics out of it. Such content in the hands of even a lover can be deadly because there's a thin line between love and hate. My brother, love dies. People fall out. How do you do that? I empathize with her. She's a brave woman. The cavalier attitude I don't like, but we're all built differently.
And we handle situations differently.
But I want to make a passionate appeal to our women. We all have the privilege to be famous, not because we're special. It's either our talent or we were ready, an opportunity met us and everything collided, right? Not because we're more beautiful, more intelligent, or more educated, or it's preparedness and opportunity makes a star if you got what it takes to be there. To attain fame, it's easy. It's the sustainability of fame and the burden that comes with it that becomes essential. You know what I mean? So for me, I wish her well. I wish the other lady well. I wish things were different from then. But I take exceptions to our people, a queen I stand. No, there's nothing queeny about such things. When you say, you know what, I admire your courage for standing up to a blackmailer, it makes more sense. And people will understand it from that. But people come to use the word
that we need to talk about that are being buried in the, oh, you guys are talking about her, let her rest. You guys have to. Nobody's addressing. Nobody's addressing other cogent issues that are coming out of this. Blackmail is a listen.
Yeah.
What she did in the video is not a crime.
No.
Blackmail is a capital offense. How did the narrative switch from blackmail to what it is now?
I stand.
The intellectual capacity of the audience that is perceiving.
I blame my colleagues. I've always said it. Most of us met fame by accident. Doesn't mean we're intellectually sound. Most of us are critically compromised. I mean, you can see for yourself. Any idiot can be famous, but what you do with your fame is what matters. A queen I stand sends a wrong message. I would have changed the narrative. Thanks for standing up to a blackmailer and changing the narrative. And at the same time, young women, be careful. I said something. I said, if you're celebrating, maybe normal people will be cautious, but as a celebrity, well known, your guards should be up. With everything going on, do not ever let down your guard. Even with people around you, be cautious. People are ready to tear you apart. So,
especially those who are spreading the story in their bid to stand with you.
Yes.
And show their solidarity to you. Many of them, and you see, I don't want her to have the emotional burden of dealing with this alone. However, we should also be careful what we're past. I say this, and I say this all the time. It's not a crime to have a tape, but it's irresponsible if that tape leaks.
Absolutely.
You have kids in the house.
Absolutely.
If you engage in intimacy, lock your door.
Correct.
It's not irresponsible for you to engage in sexual activity when you have children in the house. It is irresponsible to leave your door open. And it is irresponsible for you to train your children not to knock on doors.
Correct.
Because I've gone to some people's house, some children just barge into their parents' room. Hey, mommy,
boundaries.
How bad it is in my house. I mean, my bathroom is a bit far away from the door. My children are knocking. They can't come into the room unless I say come in. And I'm shouting from the bathroom, but they can't hear. And they will still be there knocking it out. It drives me crazy.
But you said boundaries.
So
you said boundaries.
Boundaries. Let this be a lesson to us all. If you must bring out a camera, how far are you going to allow that camera to go?
You know,
Also,
I also stated something.
Georgina, sorry, let me put this part. I can't judge, and I am not holier. That's why I said this earlier on when I had this. I've done tapes before, so I would not judge. I just hope I'm responsible enough to make sure my tapes don't fall in the wrong hands. There's one thing that I can, however, comment on, and that is not using protection.
You said it.
Not spoken on. You see, if she in that video had used protection, that would have been a responsible act inside what seems to be an irresponsible act. Now, the taping is not irresponsible. The fact that it leaked is irresponsible because you are with someone who is not responsible enough to manage such a critical situation. Nobody's talking about that. The message needs to be passed to our children. It is not okay to have unprotected intercourse. We need to bring back to the fore the discussion on HIV. We need to bring back to the fore the discussion on the human papilloma virus, or HPV.
Oh, you're saying that? What of MMM?
Of
There are more.
cancer, vaginal cancer, anal cancer, and so many other forms of cancer.
You know, I work in the healthcare. I'm a health information specialist. You know, people tend to want to tag you just as an actress. I've moved past that. I stopped acting 16 years ago when I moved to the state, retrained with multiple masters in health information management. My ex-husband was a medical doctor. You know, so I've had the privilege of working in that capacity with so many doctors. I'm a quality assurance auditor. You raised a valid point. You know, people know what we call STDs, but there are what we call STIs. STDs are sexually transmitted diseases. STIs are sexually transmitted infections. And the difference, you may ask, is STDs are curable, STIs are not. And this is where you have HIV/AIDS. You have herpes. They call it COSO. That is herpes, highly infectious. There's no cure for it. Like you said, HPV.
Oh, I want to have malaria.
It's not malaria. That is sexually transmitted infection.
And to have that your malaria and you go down on somebody, you are going to give them genital
infection, herpes, and no cure. And like you stated, I had an experience in 2015. I went to a hospital in Ikeja, and when I went there to see one of the people running the hospital, I saw a bunch of cars, expensive cars. I'm like, what's going on here? Then I went into the room. I saw beautiful women. Some of them I see on social media today, all sitting there. So I called the nun. It was run by the Catholic Church. So I called the nun. I'm like, what are all these people doing here? And you know what she said to me? Oh, today is the day they come take their shot. I'm like, shot for what? Then she looked at me, HIV.
HIV, yeah, I know.
And I said, what? He said, Gina, it is more prevalent in Nigeria than people are talking about it.
Someone is now listening. Sorry, Georgina. These are the kind of comments that put us in trouble. Somebody is here saying, are you 100% healthy? Nobody's 100% healthy. But why expose yourself? Now, another thing is, as a public figure, people are scrutinizing every aspect of that video. And if they see you do it without protection, they think it's okay. People literally worship their celebs, their politicians, their pastors. So everything is a message. And I would be so grateful if she can address that part in such a way that it helps people understand the gravity of unprotected intercourse. Nobody's judging anybody. You can't ring a bell. The video is out. People have accessed it. They've accessed it and they've assessed it. They've analyzed.
I say something to you? Can I say something to you? I work in a healthcare field, and each time we all go see our OBGYN, the first thing they tell you is, especially the OBGYN, they say, look, even though you love your husband and trust him from now to Jericho, make sure every 3 months you subject him to HIV test. If you see anything around that cap, disease, tell him, man, go check yourself. And if you feel you're in the heat of the moment, there's oral quick you put around your mouth too. It's an easy test for HIV. You know, this carelessness have led people to their early grave. There are no cures. Why being so careless with your life? It sends every wrong message. I said in my book, look, don't bring intimate experience to online gratification. You understand? And when you're having an intercourse with somebody in an open space, in a boat or in a ship with so many people, didn't you think of your privacy? You could
Now,
go
hold on
home.
to address this gentleman here, Emilia Munike, Emil Amunike. Stop victim blaming. This is the most stupid thing a grown man can say. I want to ask the victim, where we've gone past the victim stage because she did not submit to the blackmailer.
No.
But in this tape, she can, I don't know how to put this, you can't exactly call her or any of us victims. It was a choice. It was a choice that backfired.
Yeah.
So stop this victim. Nobody is blaming any victim.
No.
Nobody. I know when you blame a victim, when somebody has had a really tough time, and then people still go ahead and bash that.
Beat her. Yeah.
Like that. This is an analysis. It's an analysis of a situation that is public.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for her.
I do.
And I say this all the time. I could have been in those shoes. These are mistakes I made. I learned a lot from this. And I will not judge her. I would never judge her. However, this situation has brought some issues to the
forefront.
And
Public discourse.
Unprotected intercourse, the company you keep, the people you trust, the people with you see, it's one thing to trust people, it's another thing to entrust them with your privacy. I can trust you, Georgina, not to cheat, but can I trust you by giving you $1 million to keep for me? By trusting.
I want to buy quick stock and turn over the money. I might lose your money there.
So we need, there's a narrative. It has happened. Let's learn from the mistake. It has happened. We can't unring the bell. We are not good. Nobody's sitting down here judging her, telling her, oh, she was stupid. Oh, no, saying that. But we can't ignore we can't just say, okay, it didn't happen. Let's look at it. It's going to happen again tomorrow. As a matter of fact, it's happened twice this week.
It's scary. And that's why it has to be a passionate appeal. Dearest, beautiful Black woman or sister. At times, you just have to restrain yourself. Love making is beautiful. There ain't nothing wrong with it. But do it responsibly. Do it with the subconsciousness that this person I'm engaging in this act with, can I trust? But even if you trust, verify. And like I said, a man who truly loves you will not subject you to that. I don't care of whatever. We're from a different school of thought. But a man who has so much at stake will not do this to you. And it begs the question, the quality of men we associate ourselves with. If you date a tout, they will give you the tout attitude. You date a thug, you will get the thuggery attitude. You date a street urchin, you will be subjected to the walls of the street. I don't see any man who is a CEO or who is this, who will want to say, if I do this, what if this? You have so much to lose, I have so much to lose. Your reputation, my reputation. So we better protect it together if we do this. But when you enjoy the life of thuggeries, boys who are not men, women who are low-life scumbags, so how do you begin to normalize such? So for me, I will beg women, let's be cautious. Look, we come from a patriarchal society. Nigeria is a patriarchal society. People think when it's a man, it was like, but you as a woman, the society will rub it as a banner of shame on you. And if you know that, I beg you in the name of God, tread with caution. Nobody is a saint. Nobody is a saint. We all make mistakes. But can we learn from it? From everything that has been happening since last month? What's your take? Times are changing. We can do better.
Thank
Let's
you.
help keep
Thank
our
you.
society safe. It's my pleasure.
It's lovely having you and lovely sharing this. I wish we could be more open in Nigeria about conversations. You see, anything you try to say, people will jump and say you're judging. We're not judging. Let's have a conversation. Look at the man whose comment I pinned. He said, you have a point, but you all dwell on her mistake, but you forget to address the man who shared the video. Who forgot to address what? Did we not talk about the blackmail?
Yeah.
We didn't forget to address anything. And I don't know how to put this, but this is a dilemma.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much. This is Violet Bass TV, and I hope you'll be part of this family. Hit on the subscribe button and remember to put up the post notification bell. I'll see you on my next video, guys. I appreciate you. Bye, guys. Bye.